Randy here with Randy Repairs It. Down the back side of my property in my lower olive grove, and this is one of the burn piles we use when we trim the olive trees. We have to burn this off. But the reason I'm showing you guys this is because I'm gonna kind of show you why I'm doing the project I'm doing today for you. So there's my neighbor, John, very nice guy. He's 77 years old. He still does all of his own, most all of his own yard work. And he doesn't have enough space to burn his own stuff. So I let him use this little spot here to burn. The problem is that he was climbing the fence. He climbs the fence. There's a ditch here. I don't know if you can see it. There's a ditch. We're going way down in the ditch. And so I want to put a gate in for him. So we're going to put a gate, I think probably right here. I have an old gate, but it needs new hinges put on it, and they're weld-on hinges. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to weld the hinges on the gate, and then John has a guy who's going to put the gate in because it's his fence. So I've talked to him about it. He said, "Yeah, sounds like a great plan." And I think one of the other things we might do is like he's got a little bridge over there. I don't know if you can see that bridge. We might do something similar here with a bridge across this, because it's pretty deep. I don't know if you can, again, I don't know if the camera can really show the depth, but it's going down. I'm not going to step down in there because I might not get back out. Let me see if that shows you better. Maybe. Anyway, so that's what we're doing today. So he can come over and burn his grass clippings and not hurt himself trying to get over the fence. I brought in the gate and the hinge side of the post. The post is outside. I'm looking at this gate, and it is going to need a little more work than I think. So good for you guys, because it's going to be a little more involved, I think. So but basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut these hinges out. And you hear me dropping the new ones. And I got some new heavy steel hinges made in Spain. So new heavy steel hinges that may be, oh, they're two-piece, that's nice, okay. And they're about the same size. I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, I got the camera set right. Make sure I get the camera set right. Yeah, I do. Okay. Trying to get better with my filming on my own. Yeah, they're a little bit bigger, probably a couple of mils longer, but that's not a problem. So basically, it's gonna set here, and it's gonna get welded in after I cut these out. Same with that. So there's 3 hinges on this gate, and I have a set of 4 of these, so that'll work. I have a spare one in case I make a mistake, or for one of my other gates if I decide to put a gate in later. All right, so this one I'd already knocked all the concrete off the bottom of, and it's mostly ready to go. I gotta kind of figure out the top and bottom, don't I? So it doesn't really matter. It looks like this was the bottom because this part's rusty. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. So this was damaged in the removal, but there's I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, it looks like it. That's a little damage there, a little rusted. So I'm gonna tackle that part too. We're gonna make sure that this is a solid gate for him, so he can go through it without a problem, nice and easy. The thing I've got to do is I got to make some kind of slight modification to the latch, because you can't. It's like my gate that I have for the dog pen. You can't unlatch it from the other side, so I may have to cut a slot out of here so he can reach through. I might even put a pin on the back of it cut this out, put a pin on the back of it, and then he can just reach through and open it up. I don't know how much of that you guys got. So basically you can't open this from the back side. It's solid. So if I cut this out and I weld a piece of steel on the end of this, you'll be able to open it from the inside and outside. And of course, it's in desperate need of lube, but that's one of the final things we'll do. So let's get started on it. First thing I'm going to do is cut the old ones off. Technically, the first thing I'm going to do is take a measurement. Oh, we're 20 centimeters to the bottom. Centimeters there, and we are at 50 centimeters between. And we're at 49.5 centimeters. And another 20 up here. I'm going to grind this down here so I can weld it up. And yeah. I make a big deal about hearing protection because I'm mostly deaf and lost my hearing in the military. And it's one of those things where as you get older, you know, it gets more difficult anyway. Everything declines as we get older. Our eyesight, our hearing, our reactions, our strength, everything does. It gets less and less. You want to have the best possible chance. I've always protected my eyes, so I have pretty good eyesight. But my hearing is 60% loss. So, and constant tinnitus, constant ringing. So I still protect my ears and my hearing as much as I can. And I urge you guys to do that if you're working on anything. Make sure you just put some earplugs in, get some earmuffs. These are cheap, Chinese earmuffs. They're like, in the US, I brought them over with me. They're like $6 from Harbor Freight. And they work fine. Nothing wrong with it. Eye protection, of course. And for grinding, I've said this before, you want to have a mask on because you're kicking all sorts of stuff off of the disc, off of this. Every now and then you might see me just hit something real quick without the mask, but it's rare that I'll ever do that with a big job without a mask on. All right. All right, we're gonna do that again here and keep it going. Okay. All right, we'll let this cool down. Let it all cool down for a minute. The welds are heavy and thick and deep, and they're not pretty, but they're not meant to be. They're meant to hold up a heavy gate on a heavy post through a lot of work. All right. I guess while I'm letting all this cool down, I can figure out how to do this. So if I take these out here. All right, let me see. Let's go over here. See if we can figure out how to get this gate to work a little easier from the inside. So basically I want to cut Four, okay. Now we've got a slot, and I can weld on a little pin or something on the back side. Let's flip it over so I can get to the other side. It's a very heavy gate. Okay. That's going to give us a chance to look at this damage too. See if it, wow. Yeah. Let's take a look at that real quick. All right, we're going to take a look at this damage. See if we can okay. Taking that dent out for the most part. Doesn't have to be perfect. Get yourself a BFH and it'll take care of a lot of problems like that. All right, let's see. Two things left to do. I'm going to see if we can. I'm just going to see if I can just tack this back down. But we're gonna, yeah, because the weld's broke on it. We're gonna have to grind it out, and same with this. I'm gonna have to try to grind on that a little bit, and let me think here, because I'm not sure. Let me see if I can get it to it with the grinder. And if I got enough clean area to pop a weld in there. Maybe. No, okay. See if we can get to it on this side here. I was taking care of that. I forget about the camera. Okay. All right, let's take this clamp out of the way, see if I can get underneath it. I'm not sure that I can. If I get over here, maybe and get it down all the way. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure on this. Let's use the Temu drill. If you guys haven't watched that video. This thing's hot garbage, but yeah, give it a shot. Yeah, see what I mean? Yeah. No way it's staying on. It doesn't have a lock. Let's go backward and see if it'll stay on backward. I think I can tack that. That little strap, it's kind of bent outward, so it's going this way. Let's see if we can get it to come in a little bit as well. Yeah, now it's matched up to where the weld was broke before. Let me see if I can pop that on real quick. And I filled the hole. So let's see if it holds, which it should. Yeah, oh, it's gonna hold. And get this one out of the way. All right, so plan B, we're just gonna use a bolt. I'm gonna tack a bolt on here. Let's get painted so it shouldn't rust, but that'll work. I thought I had some little pieces of round bar. Nope. Okay, we're going with the bolt. All right, we're back on this. So I tacked it on off camera, and I'm just gonna weld it. Just gonna weld it in. Okay, so I've taken care of, let me pop you guys off here. Hang on a second. Do this here. All right, I got new hinges on it, on this gate. I fixed this broken strap, and I made it where the gate will open from the inside, okay? Next thing I'm gonna do, this has to cool down completely, and I gotta work on the post. So let's take the gate down and get the post up and get started on that. Basically rinse and repeat on this. We're gonna put them in the same exact spot, and then the gate installer can adjust the depth according to what he needs for the bottom, but I think, yeah, we're gonna be above, so it'll be a little taller. Okay. Yeah. All right. All right, let's cut this. Let's cut these off. The other thing I recommend is owning a couple of little plug-in, 4-inch or 4.5 inch, or if you're here in Europe, they're 125 millimeter, 115 millimeter. Angle grinders. That way you're not constantly having to change, change back. I got to get on a cutting disc, I need a grinding disc. You can pick these up used on eBay. They're fairly inexpensive. Even brand new, they're under 40 euros here. These are just, as the Brits like to call them, cheap and cheerful, which is fine. They work, they do the job. They're not for heavy duty use, like I keep saying. It's really light duty. Cut these off, let the thing cool down. If you're just going to town non-stop, you're gonna burn it up. And if you watch my repair videos, you see that's the truth. There's a Black & Decker. I know Black & Decker gets made fun of in the States. Black & Decker's been around forever. There's a very good tool, especially for a do-it-yourselfer. Very, very good tool. There's nothing wrong with it. Affordable. I think this was about 40 euros. It's pretty heavy and heavy duty, and it'll go. And then, the thing I don't skimp on typically on my grinding are the blades. So this is a Bosch Pro blade grinding disc. These things are beasts. Well worth the 5 or 6 euros you're going to pay for it. Okay, let me get back to cutting, and I need safety glasses. All right, we're going to have to set this up. I'm gonna have to lay it out on the gate. So let me figure out how to how to do that here. So basically I'm laying out to make it all right, I think, yeah, I just need to shim up the bottom a little bit. So basically what I'm doing, I'm gonna lay this out, I'm gonna tack these in, and I can adjust each hinge on this, you know, to correct any like little bits of tweaking errors or whatever. That you know, that I have. Okay. But I do have to shim this up just a tad. Let's see here. Oh. No, that's not enough. Still not enough. Well, is this gonna be too much? You put a 1, 2, 3 block in, but I think that's gonna be too much. Yeah, that's too much. There we go. All right. I want to do the same thing on the top, just so I know the gate is square in. So, and then let's do this one here. Make sure it's gonna match up. You have some leeway with these, so it's not too bad. I was talking about, like, from the grinding I did on this, very hot. You can't even touch it. Can't even touch it. It's too hot. It's got to cool down. Oh, here it is. And that really is a good grinder. It's impressive. Okay, yeah, so this one's gonna be a little crooked just to kind of match, but that's okay, as long as the gate will work. So I want to have the same spacing. I need to space this out just a touch down here. Oh. I hope I put that on correctly, huh? That's pretty good being eyeballing it, so I hope I can make this entertaining for you in editing. It's not the best, most exciting video ever, but it's for a good cause, and I like my neighbors. We have really good neighbors here. If you watch our other channel, Your Essential Italy, which is so much better because my wife takes care of a lot of it, and yeah, we talk about our neighbors. All right, there's that one. Let's see if this one here is good. So, but it's on backward, isn't it? I did the same thing on this one. Did I do it? Yeah, I want them out. I want them out. So I want them off. I want it off the gate, right? Is that right? That can be too much. Okay, now what we're gonna do, before I put solid frickin' welds on this, and I spend an hour and a half grinding them out, because they're wrong, we're gonna make sure we're not wrong. You get off cool down. Okay. So basically I just want to make sure the gate opens all the way, and it does. You can come out and if the gate closes. Cool beans. And I'm going to go ahead and weld it with the gate attached in case it decides it wants to warp. So it doesn't warp. We're going to do it that way. All right. Okay, so everything's welded up on this gate now, the way it needs to be. I'm going to let it cool down, and I'll grind it down. I'll knock the. I'm not going to grind it down, but I'll knock the rust and the nastiness off of it. I'll shoot it with a coat of paint. I might grind this off too, because there's really no reason for it to be there, and I'm not going to film that. And then it'll be ready for them to install. Now, they're not gonna install it now, so I may just have to come back and pop a picture up or something to show you when it's installed, and do it that way. I'm not gonna have anything to do with the installation. Likely gonna happen when I'm not available to help them, so anyway. All right, I got this post painted. Oh, there's some dark spots on it. I just noticed that. I have to spray over that again. I got this this gate painted, the back side of it, and this is the latching post, and it's prepped. It's not obviously not painted yet. You get some rust remover on it, and it kind of blues it, and you know, that way it's not going to just rot in the ground. But that's where I've gotten so far with this, and should have it done tomorrow, and maybe get it put in the ground this week too. All right, it looks like my neighbor got the fence, the gate rather, put in that I fixed up for him. So looks like we had some trouble with this middle one here for some reason. I wonder if I did that. That's weird. But it looks like it works. Oh, it's good. Yeah, that might have been an error. I had it all lined up. I don't know. Anyway, there it is. And he had a little bridge, so he put a little bridge over, so he can come over and put his trimmings out here, and then I'll burn them.